Hey there, YouTube family. Casey here, back with another video. I apologize because it's been like 6 months since I've made a video, and that is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. But to try to make an excuse, which is only an excuse, we moved. We're Nevadans now. Got a new place and a new shop and a lot more space, and I'm really excited about it. And I hope that you guys are too, because some cool stuff is going to happen over here. Anyway, without further ado, I'm filling my shop with tools. So here's unboxing and setup of a Jegs English wheel kit. I'll be back at the end of the video to tell you more about my impressions of this kit, and we'll go from there. So this is the Jegs English wheel kit as it arrives. This ships truck freight. The charge was I believe it was $100 flat rate freight charge. Box weighs about 173 pounds. That's my hand for scale. It's a pretty big box, but that is how the English wheel ships. So I'm going to set the camera up and unbox this. Here is everything included in the Jegs English wheel kit. We've got our main C-frame back there, our base and short upright, our tall upright, which is the front leg. I've heard from a few people that you should flip this around because you need more support on the front of the English wheel rather than the rear. A stabilizer bar that goes between the two legs. The reason I bought the Jegs kit is because it is the only English wheel now that comes with lower dies. All the other import wheels do not. You gotta buy the dies separately. Upper anvil. You will notice that it is well heat treated. Well, I don't know that it's well heat treated. It's been heat treated. Hopefully they did it right. But I couldn't see that in the pictures, so hopefully that's a nice hard finish. This is the one that takes the most load. We've got our adjuster for our up and down, as well as our wheel, the shaft that the wheel is going to mount on that slides into the adjuster. I'm assuming I have no instructions at all. Hardware and the arms of the adjuster wheel. Luckily, with everything just assembled loose, there's enough slop in all the holes to play with it and get things to line up. Though I do have a bit of welding slag in this hole, which should be oval, to allow you to center up your upper and lower dies. So let me get a punch and see if I can knock that out of there. everything is just loose with the exception of the top anvil and the dies. All the frame bolts are still loose. Right off the bat, as you can see, like I'm applying maybe 5 pounds of pressure and the whole thing's tipping forward. And the reason for that, it was really bad before I mounted the die rack down low. Yeah, this thing needs to be mounted or it needs some mass on the back of the stand. I'm gonna have to figure that out. It's actually, I'm impressed with how sturdy it is. The feedback from these import English wheels has always been that the anvil and the dies are excellent and the frame is junk. You throw it away. You buy it for the die set and you throw the frame away and you build your own. Okay, so we've got the English wheel in its final home here in the sheet metal corner of my shop. My bead roller is making an appearance. If you haven't already watched this series on my channel, you should absolutely go do that. I've reinforced this thing substantially. And then I also added a easy spin handle, which will raise and lower the shaft via return spring. Makes this thing way more handy than having to get out a couple of different size wrenches and adjusting everything. I've also added the Eastwood drive motor. I've radiused the bearing blocks so that they don't catch material as easily, and put it on a rolling cart stand. I also have a pivot here that is going to eventually mount a table. Just need to finish that up. Anyway, back to the English wheel. As you can see here, I've got this thing mounted on a couple of 4x6s. As you saw before, it was really tippy. Now, not so much. I do plan on drilling some holes, putting a 3/4 inch piece of round bar in there and throwing a couple of weights on the back just to make it a little bit more sturdy than it is. But I would absolutely consider a 4x6 or so board to mount this thing on a must-have piece of kit for this English wheel. All right, so got the English wheel all assembled. Everything is torqued. I'm not an experienced sheet metal fabricator at all. I'm a total hobbyist. I've never used an English wheel before today, but I set up on the English wheel a couple of the dies, engaged them until they were just touching the top anvil, gave the top anvil a spin, and I'm noticing a lot of up and down movement in the die. I'll cut to a clip and show you guys what that looks like. I had always heard that the dies, or anvils, I guess is probably the more appropriate term, was one of the best parts about these import English wheels, and that you could basically throw everything else away and still be money ahead because the anvils were so nice. This doesn't seem to be the case with these. I did measure them. They're in the neighborhood of 5/1000ths of an inch of runout. I don't know if that is bad enough, if you're really going to notice it in your panels. I just don't have the experience to make that judgment call. I did do a little research on the internet, came up with a hand post where a gentleman had more runout than I did in his anvils from Jegs, but found that he was able to buy some anvils from Eastwood Company that ultimately did quite a bit better for him, less than 1/1000th of an inch of runout in the Eastwood anvils. They are more expensive. You don't get as many in the kit, but unfortunately, this may not be the magic bullet that I thought it was. I did. Don't laugh at me. Sheet metal is really expensive right now. This is aluminum. It's about 18 gauge aluminum. Yeah. I mean, this was maybe 10 minutes in the English wheel. And so nice kind of compound curve here. I don't know if the camera will focus in on this, but I was able to completely roll the stamping of the numbers out of the license plate. Again, just aluminum, but that's with no mods on the Jegs English wheel. So I think if you only expect a reasonable amount from it, it'll probably deliver on your expectations. I'm pretty upset with the anvil quality. Jegs ultimately did issue me a refund for the anvils. They essentially treated it as if I had bought the anvil set from them and refunded that amount to me independently of the English wheel so that I can go out and buy some anvils that have better run out numbers. They sell anvils, but they won't have any until May of 23. You can only get them with the English wheel. If you buy the English wheel from Jegs, you might have better luck than I did. I mean, maybe I got a bad batch. And maybe 5,000th-ish run out isn't so terrible. I also had some issues with some of the bearings in the anvils. Some of them were full of crud, and one of them barely would turn at all. A couple others still, the bearings were really loose in the dies, and some of them were really tight in the dies. I think the one that won't turn at all is actually because the bore in the anvil is too tight, and it's basically crushing the bearing when you push it in, because I drove the bearings out and they spin fine. And you drive them back in and it won't turn again. All in all, for the price point and everything that you get for the price point, it's really hard to knock this English wheel kit, even with the issues and the bad run out. But I don't know that I can recommend it, just because I don't know how useful it actually will be with anvils with that much run out. You know, I rolled on a license plate, which is only about 9 inches long, and I'm rolling in like the middle 7 inches of it. So I'm really not even getting a full rotation of the die. If you had a big, 4-foot long panel that you're rolling back and forth in there, you're going to have that high spot, if you will, in the anvil 4 times in that 4-foot panel. So what's that going to look like in terms of surface finish? I don't know. I bought this thing to build an aluminum hood for the Roadster. I'll probably be using mostly aluminum in it. When I do my bomber seat build, which is still coming, by the way, I want to be able to put a little bit of articulation in the seat back. I've noticed a lot of the bomber seats on the market. I'm going to sell these, I think, by the way. We'll see how it goes when I build them. I've noticed a lot of them are just a flat panel, and it doesn't really look very aesthetically pleasing, but just a little teeny bit of curve. Though I don't want to roll it, because I want it to be flat where it meets the seat base, and I want it to be flat where it meets the seat sides. So with the English wheel, I can put a little teeny bit of stretch right in the middle, keeping the base and the sides flat. So, I mean, at least I think I can. You're gonna have to stay tuned to see how that comes out. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video of an unboxing and setup of a Jegs imported English wheel. I wish I could report that it was a little bit better quality. My initial impressions were super great on this unit, and as I tested and played with it, those kind of went downhill a little bit. If I had it to do over, I'd probably go to Harbor Freight and pick up their wheel for $379.99, maybe even with a coupon, and then go buy some anvils from Eastwood, which are supposedly a much higher quality. I would have been into the whole thing about $50 more than I was this kit from Jegs prior to them refunding me for the anvils. At that point, like, ultimately, I think I would have had a better setup. But Jegs, once again, stellar customer service from them. They always go above and beyond expectations. And hopefully, as time progresses, they will continue to refine this kit, and it will actually become something that I could recommend. But I hope you guys found the video informative, and I look forward to seeing you soon. All right, thanks for watching. Oh, if you haven't already, please like the video, hit that subscribe button if you like what you saw here today. Just got finished moving my shop. It's been insane, but I'm hoping to get back to you guys with more regular content here pretty soon. I'm putting a big effort in. It's the holiday season. I know that everybody is bored and is looking for good content to watch during the holidays. So I'm going to try to be there for you during the holiday season, because I don't want to leave you hanging anymore. And then in the new year, I'm probably going to have to get a job. So we'll see how the content goes from there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the kind messages and support while I've been away. You guys really are the best group of audience members that a guy could ask for. Truly, I'm humbled every time I read your comments. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.